Hello students, I am Nitin Vashne, Assistant Professor in SIRT College Bhopal. Today I am going to teach you the process in operating system. So let's start. So what is the process? Basically we can say that a process is a set of sequential steps that are required to do particular task. Or we can say that whenever we going to process our raw data into particular operations, and this combination of operations and data is called a process. A process basically is an instance of a program in executions. Here I am going to give an example that window, if we edit two files simultaneously in the notepad, that it means we are implementing two different instances of the same program. So this is the basic definition of the process. So what are the certain resources should be used in operating system? First is CPU time, second is memory files, and third one is input output devices. So all these resources are allocated whether at the starting, or we can say that the execution of the process, and when the execution of the process should be completed, then all these resources should be terminated, or we can say that the CPU will release all these resources. So we have a process, so we also have a process states. So what is the process states? A process goes through a serial of process states for performing its task. Means the process is a, we can say that a process is a program, or we can say that instant of any execution. So this process should be moved in a CPU by going toward a many states. So what are these states? We going to teach in our next slide. So here we can see that what is the process states. We have a different type of process states. Okay, so we have a different type of entities: new, ready, waiting, running, and terminated. So when a new process arrived, it should be admitted to the ready queue, and then it should be dispatched by scheduler toward the running state, and the process, or we can say the program, should be successfully executed or running in the running state, and then it going toward the terminated state where the process should be exit, or we can say the process should be completed. So this is our idle condition, but we also having some interrupts. So what is the interrupts? You can see here that suppose the process should be admitted in the ready queue, and it should move toward the running state. The process should be running in the running state, so there must be some event generated, or we can say that some interrupt should be called. So it will be again move toward the ready state, and the process should be terminated, or we can say the process should be suspended for a while. Then again, whenever the CPU is free, then again this process move toward the running state. Okay, or another thing is that whenever it got input output or event wait, it should be going toward the waiting area. Waiting area is nothing, we can say it's a type of a pool or queue where the suspended or waited state should be placed. So whenever the ready queue is cleared, the waiting state will active, and those process should be in between the waiting queue. It move toward the ready queue, then again ready queue will move toward the process into running, and then it should be moved toward the terminated state. So we can say that it's a state diagram of any process in operating system. So you can see the basic terminology: new, ready and running. It should be clear on previous slides. Waiting, terminated. So here I have a one note: only one process can be running on any process at any instant. However, there can be many processes in ready and waiting state. So we can see here easily that only in the running state on a single process will be run, no another process, or we can say that there must be a no criteria or no system to run simultaneously two different processes at a time. So what is the PCB, or we can say that process control block? Basically process control block, we can say it's type of a data structure of any process. It become to be a other card of any process, where the process name, process type, process timing of the execution, and which type of process it should be mentioned there. Okay, so all related information of that particular process should be written in the dedicated PCB, or we can say that process control block. Okay, it also known as process descriptor. And another point is, when a process is created, the operating system create a corresponding PCB. So whenever we got a new process, its PCB is already generated, and all the entire information related to that particular PCB should be written there. So here some points to describe the PCB. Information in the PCB is updating during the transition of the process states. When a process terminates, its PCB is released. Each process has a single PCB. So this is the basic important point of the PCB. When process should be terminated, the PCB of that particular process should be released, and each and every process has its own PCB. So this is the basic diagram of the PCB, where it contains the different sectors, or we can say that the PCB should be divided into different process: process state, process number, program counter, register, memory limits, list of open files. So you can easily see that the process states show that where with at what time the process running in which instance. Okay, so here the description: process number, each process allocated a unique number for the process of identification. Then process state, it specify the current states of the process. Program counter, it indicates the address of the next instructions to be executed. Registers, it holds the data of the result of the calculation. The content of this register is saved so that the process can be resumed correctly or later on. Memory limits, it stores the amount of memory units allocated to the process. And last one is the list of open files, where it stored the list of open files and their access rights given by the administrator. So another thing is, what is the process scheduling? So you in previous slides you can see that CPU scheduling and disk scheduling. So similarly the process scheduling is also done here. So what is the process scheduling? In multi-programming, several processes are kept in main memory so that one process is busy in input-output operations, other processes are available to CPU. In this way, CPU is busy in executing process at all times. This method of selection of process to allocate the CPU is called a process scheduling. So we have a number of processes in our main queue. So what is the high priority process, what is the low priority process? All these processes should be selected and put into the CPU, or we can say that give the CPU, is called process scheduling. So another thing is dispatching. So what is the dispatching? So setting up the execution of the selected process on the CPU is called a dispatching, and this should be done by a component that is called the dispatcher. So dispatcher is nothing, it will just put one process from the main queue and provide to the CPU. After that, this should be terminated. So this process of collecting the process from the main queue and providing toward the CPU, this should be done by a component that is called the dispatcher, and this process is called the dispatching. And another thing is context save. So basically, whenever the process should be running and it should be terminated or executed, or it should be terminated or suspended by any reason, so the current instance, or we can say the current situation or current state of the process should be saved, and this should be shaped by using context save. So we have a different types of scheduling queues. You can see that we have a three different type of scheduling queues: job queue, ready queue, and device queue. Job queue basically a process enter the system, it put the process or job in a job queue. This queue consists of all process in the system. Second is the ready queue. It is a doubly linked list of a process that are resides in the main memory and are ready to be executed. So the main function of the job queue is just enter or pulled the process. And another thing is that whenever the process should be completely pulled, then which process have a high priority, it should be ready first, then this process prioritize according to the execution limit or execution time. Whenever your system should be designed, it should be ready in the ready queue. Now third one is the device queue. It contains all those processes that are waiting for the particular input output device. Each device has its own device queue. So you can see the diagram where we have a PCB and we have a different type of PCBs and have a queue header. So it should be like a data structure having a doubly linked list where the tail should be going toward the PCB2 and head toward the PCB7. So whenever PCB2 is completed, it the link of the tail should be terminated, and this tail should be again pointing toward any blank PCB. Suppose we have a four different type of PCB: PCB3, 14, 6, and 5. Okay, so we can map just PCB. The we have a different type of n number of PCBs should be blank. Whenever the process should be going to execute the PCB assigned, suppose we have a process number 3, so PCB number 3 should be activate, and we should assign a ready queue on the head and tail toward the last PCB. Whenever it should be completed, the head move toward the head move become toward the nil, and the tail which pointed the another PCB, it should be get toward the head. Okay, so context switching, the switching the CPU from one process to another process required saving the state of the old process and load the saved state of the new process. Means basically whenever the process should be change their states, so the changing of the states by doing another component that is called the context switch. So you can see the diagram of the context switch. When process P0 is executing, then it should be saved into the PCB. The process P1 should be idle, then it should be terminated. Here you can see that the interrupt of the or the system call should be generated, then the PCB process 0 should be stopped, and PC process 1 should be started and saved into the PCB1, and then complete their task. After that, the whole timing of the P0 should be remain idle, because whenever the P0 is start to be initiate, then interrupt or system call should be generated. So P0 process should be what? P0 process should be stop their execution and move toward the suspended queue, and there it should be waiting when until further calling of their call. So at that time P1 should be execute, and after the completion of the P1 again P2 call for their execution. Okay, so thank you and stay tuned, keep learning.